I'm about to tell you something that goes against everything you've ever been taught about business. You can have consistent revenue without consistent effort. In fact, for neurodivergent brains, this might be the only sustainable way. I know that sounds like a lot of bullshit, like one of those passive income scams, but stay with me. Today, we're talking about building revenue systems that work even when you can't, because we know there are going to be days when you can't. You've been taught that if you want consistent income, you need consistent effort. This works if you're neurotypical, have unlimited energy, and never burn out. But you have executive function fluctuations, energy crashes, and then hyperfocus and burnout cycles. If income equals effort and our effort fluctuates wildly, so will our income. This is why so many neurodivergent entrepreneurs have feast and famine cycles. You produce a lot, you get the money, and then you crash, and you cannot keep that up because then you make a lot of money and then you have nothing. So let's talk about what actually creates consistent revenue. You need systems that function whether you're in hyper-focus mode or in recovery mode. Products or services that people can buy without you manually processing each sale. Email sequences, payment processors, delivery systems that don't need your daily input. So if one stream is down, others are flowing. You put in effort strategically, setting up the systems, creating assets, not constantly. This is what it's not. It's not about working all the time. It's about working smart and then letting the systems do their job. Neurotypical advice says hustle harder. Neurodivergent-friendly approach says build smarter. So we are all about building the systems that are going to work for our lives so that when things aren't working well for us, our executive function crashes, we just have a no energy day, our business isn't going to fall apart. There are 4 pillars to building this consistent revenue without the consistent effort. Automated offers. These are products people can buy 24/7 without you being involved. Digital products, courses, memberships. Then we have evergreen systems. These are funnels that sell while you sleep. Okay, they nurture and convert without you manually doing anything. Pillar 3 is recurring revenue. This is money that comes in monthly, whether you work any particular day or not. Subscriptions, memberships, retainers. And then pillar 4 is batch delivery. Content or products that you create once but sell or deliver repeatedly. When you have all 4, your revenue becomes largely independent of your daily effort. Are you still working? Yes, you're still working. This is not I'm going to do one thing once and it goes on forever. Let's look at each of these individually and see what it looks like to make it work. First up, we have automated offers. Okay, these are products that don't require your live presence to sell or deliver. Digital courses you create once and sell forever. Students get instant access when they buy. Templates and resources. You can create a Google Sheet template once and sell it 100 times. Recorded workshops. Deliver it live once, and then you have the recording that can sell indefinitely as an evergreen product. Ebooks and guides. Again, write it once, automatic delivery forever. Memberships. Create a library of resources that people can access at any time. You can be completely offline and still make sales. You can create these things during hyperfocus when you have the energy, and then they continue to work for you during your low energy periods. Start simple. You don't need 10 products to start. You need one really good automated offer that provides consistent baseline revenue. You need that one main offer that is going to keep bringing people to you because it is a key main thing that you are good at. And then you can branch out from there, but you need to start with just one. Next up, we have evergreen sales. Evergreen sales system is like having your own sales team that works 24/7 without you. How does that work? Someone finds your freebie, signs up, and then gets an automated email sequence that educates and sells. Then they can buy their offer and they get an automated delivery. All of this happens whether you're working, resting, or on vacation. Yes, there is absolutely initial effort. You have to build it. It does take that effort up front, but once it's built, it requires minimal maintenance. I have email sequences that I've been running for more than 2 years. I wrote them once. They've generated revenue for me without me touching them. And every email is not a sales email. If you're on my list, you know that I send out lots of tips and strategies. And then I remind you, hey, I have a membership. Hey, I have a course. And when it strikes a person at the right time, then they buy. So you don't have to be on selling every single day. The system does it for you. Even a simple 5 email sequence can generate consistent sales. Next up, we have recurring revenue. This is predictable income. This is the holy grail for divergent entrepreneurs because it decouples this month's income from this month's effort. My membership pays me monthly, whether I'm in a creation phase or a recovery phase. Knowing that you have a certain amount of money coming in every month, regardless of your capacity, is life-changing. You're still going to be providing value for your members. You're still going to be adding to your membership. Because you're going to want to keep them there. But it doesn't have to be, I have to show up every single day for my members because you have a full library of things for them to explore and learn from. And then you add to it when you have the energy to do that. And this doesn't just have to be memberships. This could be retainer clients. They pay you monthly for ongoing access to you. Payment plans, even if you have one-time offers, payment plans create recurring revenue because you've broken that offer up for people. If you have 20 members at $100 a month, that's $2,000 baseline every single month. Even if you have a terrible executive function month, that money still comes in. You have to keep providing that ongoing value, like I said, but you batch that during creation when you have the energy. If you only implement this one pillar, if you could only do one, this would be the one. This is going to be the one that's going to help you be more consistent with your revenue. Batch delivery. We've talked about batching quite a bit because you know I love batching, but this pillar is specifically designed for how neurodivergent brains work. You know that feeling when you're in hyper-focus mode and you can produce a ton of work? You want to capture that when it happens, but then spread out the delivery. For me, I can record 4 to 6 YouTube videos in one day when I'm hyper-focusing, and then I release them weekly. One day of effort can get me 1 to 2 months of consistent presence online. I write a month of emails in one sitting, schedule them, and then I'm done. This means that when you hit a low energy period, you're still showing up because past you did the work. This kind of work can work for client deliverables too. You batch the client work when you have the energy and you're in hyper-focus mode and then deliver it piecemeal. You don't have to create every single day. You create when you can, but then you deliver on a schedule. So let's talk about that feast-famine cycle that so many neurodivergent business owners experience. You have an amazing month, right? You're making great money, but then you've gone so hard, so fast, you burn out and you can barely function. So your revenue will drop to almost nothing. Then you panic because you don't have any money. Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the bills? That creates stress, which makes your executive function worse, but you force yourself to work even though your executive function is worse. So the burnout goes deeper and it's going to take you longer to recover. But then you're going to keep doing that whole cycle over and over again because your revenue is directly tied to your current effort. So we want an alternative. We want this stable revenue model. When you build the 4 pillars that I talked about, you break that cycle. High energy months become your bonus months. You make more, but your baseline is secure. Low energy months still have revenue coming in from systems, recurring payments, and automated offers. You can rest when you need to without the financial panic. Instead of 10K one month and 0 the next, you might have a stable 4K baseline and then variable months where it goes up, but you should never be dropping below that baseline. So how do you start building this? Don't try and build all 4 pillars overnight. Phase 1, start with one automated offer, a course, a bundle, a recorded workshop. This gives you something to sell through your systems. It gives you that one thing that you can start and it can just keep running on its own. Phase 2 is building a simple funnel, a freebie to an email sequence to that offer. Keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate this. We're not talking about 40 emails. 5 to 7 emails is enough for someone to grab your freebie and then get an initial email. This is who I am. This is what I do. You warm them up, let them know what you're about before you sell to them. But within that 5 to 7 emails, you can sell them whatever that phase 1 automated offer is. Phase 3 is the recurring revenue, the membership, the retainer, the subscription. This is where you start to feel some stability. And then phase 4, throughout all of this, you start to practice your batching of your content and your delivery. Now, realistically, this is at least 3 to 4 months of work, but it can create years of stability. Yes, there is initial effort. At no point did I say that this is all going to be passive. I started with saying this is not some passive scam bullshit, right? It's going to take the work, but your strategic effort compounds as time goes. Each piece builds on the last. So you're not starting from scratch every single month, worrying about how the heck am I going to make this month's money? So I need to be honest with you. This isn't a no effort situation. You have a business. Yes, there's going to be effort. There is significant effort upfront to build the systems. Creating courses takes time. Writing email sequences takes energy. Setting up automations takes focus. I hate them. If I could just create all day long, I would absolutely create all day long. But setting up those automations and those workflows, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes focus. But the key here is that you do it once and it keeps working for you. If you compare this to service work where you trade your time for money every single month, that is way more draining for you. If you spend 40 hours building a course and it sells for 3 years, that's thousands of hours of return on that initial investment because you don't have to spend 40 hours every single month building that same course or redoing that same course. You build during hyper-focus periods. You reap the benefits during the recovery periods. You're not building everything in 1 month. You need to pace yourself and spread it out. Every piece you build reduces your dependency on that constant daily effort. This is where the magic happens for neurodivergent brains. When you're on, you focus on building and creating. This is when you do the courses and the email sequences and you batch your content. You're building assets that will work for you later. When you're in recovery and you have those low energy weeks, the systems keep the revenue flowing. Money is still coming in. You handle things with minimal maintenance. You're allowed to rest. You can take a week off and still make money. And this isn't laziness, regardless of what the people around you are going to say. Like, shouldn't you be working? This is strategic business design. You build during your high capacity and maintain during your low capacity. If you build during your high energy week, you manage to get 2 or 3 courses done. You're not having to release all of them at once. You can release one because you know that in a week or 2, you're going to have a low energy week. All you have to do is release the next course. That's a maintenance thing. You're not building, you're not creating. The traditional show up every day model can't handle this kind of fluctuation of the up and down. Like it doesn't work for you. So build something that will work. So if you're overwhelmed, because I talked about a lot, the absolute minimum to create consistent revenue. Pick one thing you can create: a course, a bundle, a template pack. Keep it accessible. $27 to $97 is perfect for automated sales. Most people will spend up to $100 without really stressing about it. Not everybody. I know times are tough right now. So depending on what it is that you're offering, you don't want to try and charge $97 for, a 1-page PDF, right? So think about what it is that you're offering. Make it reasonable to bring your people into your world. You want to have a free, valuable resource related to your offer. 5 to 7 emails that educate and lead to the offer so they can grab the freebie, get into your email sequence, and then you make the offer where they buy something. You need to have some kind of payment processor, Stripe, PayPal, whatever works for you. And your delivery system could be as simple as email delivery or a basic course platform, depending on what it is that you're delivering. I'm saying this is 20 to 40 hours. I've never actually timed myself, but to me that seems feasible depending on what it is that you're creating. Yes, it sounds like a lot. That could be an entire work week for you, like at your regular full-time job. But If it generates 5 sales per month at $50, that's, $3K per year for the 20 hours of work. Or it's $150 an hour that keeps paying you for years. Spread those 20 to 40 hours across a month, working when you can. This is not about, okay, I'm going to work for the next 3 days and get it all done. Unless you're in hyper-focus mode. If you've got it, then do it. But spread it out and build slowly. Just keep telling yourself, I am building something for future me. Not, I have to get this done right now. Because that's what you've been doing, right? Before we finish, let me be crystal clear about what this is and isn't. It's not a magic button. It takes initial work. You will need to check in on your systems and update content occasionally. Things change, so you'll need to adjust and improve. It's a strategic approach that is going to help you build consistent income that doesn't require that constant daily effort. Yes, there is work at the beginning, but that work pays dividends later on. Once it's built, it requires way less daily effort than traditional models because traditional models say show up every single day. The real win is that you can have bad weeks without it being financial disaster for you. You can rest when your brain needs it. This model is designed for the variable capacity and energy fluctuations that neurodivergent people have. What I've laid out here may not be your exact path, but that's okay. But if parts of it resonate with you, then you need to start building. Don't just watch this and do nothing with it. Actually do something right now. What's one thing you could create that your people could buy without your involvement? Look at your calendar. When do you have capacity this week? And block 2 to 3 hours to start. Start decoupling, start separating your worth and your income from your daily effort because there are going to be days when you just can't put in the effort. That doesn't mean that you're not worthy, and it doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to pay your bills. So tell me in the comments, what are you going to create? Declaring it publicly increases your chances of following through. That's why we always say, write your goals down. If you know someone else who is riding that feast and famine roller coaster, send them this video. I want you to imagine waking up with sales notifications from offers you created months ago. It's totally achievable for neurodivergent business owners. So you need to start. Not Monday, not next month, this week. Is it time for you to start moving? Yes. I want you to think about what you can create and then start creating it. Thank you very much for being here. Follow for more neurodivergent-friendly business strategies. Remember, you're allowed to build revenue that doesn't require your constant effort. So go forth, build systems that work while you rest.